Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after our 5-minute break. We are now going to hit, because Will Compton is not here, we are going to have all the boys in the back of the bus do their tier talk of best video game consoles. We were talking about it before. We did it. We've not done this before. However, who knows, dude? 124 pieces in this, or 224 episodes in, the brain gets a little foggy, right? So if we've done it before, hopefully they stay the same, or maybe our hearts changed a little bit. So let's start off. Who wants to go first back there? All right, Bossy, let's hear it, buddy.
All right, so as far as the best video game consoles, it's mostly going to go off of like titles that I was introduced to and how like nostalgic that was for me. So my tier 3 is going to be the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
And the reason why that console's so like special to me, it's because one, my cousin and I, anytime I'd go to sleep over, he had just got one, and that was the first time I was introduced to like 2-player games. And some of the titles we would play, Killer Instincts was such a great game. It was like a solid fighting game. Madden, that was the first time I was introduced to that title. And then Street Fighter. Those are the 3 games that we would play when I'd go over to his house. The next one's going to be the Nintendo 64, because that was the first time I was introduced to playing 4 players. So now we got to add 2 more people. So that was pretty awesome. And then the games that I would play on that was GoldenEye and then NCAA. I loved playing NCAA on the Nintendo 64. My tier 1 is going to be the PlayStation. Now, I haven't really played the PS5 too much, but I mean, I have played the PS4, and the reason why that one's super like nostalgic for me is that's where we played in Afghanistan, and we played a lot of Call of Duty there, and MLB The Show, and then we also played Madden. So
big sports guy.
Yeah, big sports guy.
Fucking all right. One word.
Bravery.
Strong.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, playing COD in Afghanistan?
That's crazy.
That is electric.
I don't know. What are you doing there, dude? Well, you doing
There's
both
no way
those
you're
things?
not standing up playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we do this. That's why I never really played sports games. Is I was like always playing sports. I'm like, why would I also do this? Like, you're fucking across the pond doing what the game is, and you're like, hey boys, we haven't got enough of this. Let's fucking keep our brain sharp.
Yeah, I mean, the camaraderie that it brought.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There was like, yes, we're out there doing something very similar, but it's like the camaraderie, hooking all the systems together from room to room, just playing on different screens, just the conversations and shit that it led up to really kind of made the outside world feel like not real in that capacity.
It's so unique how ironic it is that you're doing the same thing, both in real life and virtual world, but it made it not real.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I guess the only direction to go is either Jack or Mitchie. Let's go.
I can go.
Jack?
I will be giving it an honorable mention, and that is going to the PlayStation 1 Portable. Now, I don't know if you know what console I'm talking about, but it had a flip-up screen. So you didn't need a TV. The console and the screen were built in together. You just plug it into an outlet, and you're ready to rock. SSX Tricky on that. It's really what like got like some of my love of video games started. I was always rolling with Mac. That was my character. But yeah, so honorable mention there. Number 3 is going to be the GameCube. Like I was a big N64 guy, but the GameCube for me like was a little bit more modernized, had like more accessibility and features. A lot of fun games, a lot of good memories playing with my brothers. All the Mario Karts and like Monkey Ball, if you remember that game where you like fly down this ramp, and so that was a good time. The number 2 is modern day, the PS5. I got mine a few months back, and it's just revolutionary what they're doing with technology and the graphics card and how fast you can fucking download a 100-gigabyte game and you're already playing it. So shout out to Sony and that PS5. Love the PS4 too, but didn't make the list. Number 1 for me though, all-time greatest console, the Xbox 360. There's just too many memories I have with whether it's my friends or my brothers. Like I played it in middle school, high school, and college. And so for a console to last the test of time for like a decade plus and still hold up, I've got to give it all the flowers in the world. Probably spent close to a month of my life over the span of 2 years in middle school playing Call of Duty 4. all in the Xbox 360, and I think the Xbox 360 has the best controller still to this day. But that is my list. So.
Solid.
Strong.
Nostalgic.
Damn it. Too solid. All right, G.
All right, so my video game list, the console, tier 3 is going to go Nintendo 64. It's the first console I had. Just a classic. Super Smash Bros. Obvious reasons. Tier 2 is going to do the PlayStation 2. I had that console and played Need for Speed all the time. And then tier 1 is going to be Xbox 360. That is the last console I've owned, and I would agree that it has the most memories for sure.
Solid.
Gotta be first to get that one. Yeah.
Classics.
Childhood.
Feeling.
All right. My tier 3 is the Xbox One Series X, kind of going along with what Jack said. I'm an Xbox guy compared to a PlayStation guy. So just the graphics and everything and how fast everything is with the new system is just unreal. So that's why it's my tier 3. My tier 2 is the Xbox 360. The amount of time I've put on NCAA 14 just alone on that system is like unreal. The amount of dynasties I've taken, small little college programs, taken them to the promised lands.
No doubt.
And like all the other NCAA games I played on there, and just like being in middle school playing with the boys, whether it's like Call of Duty or whatever. And then my tier 1, the first system I ever had, the PlayStation 2. That's where I got introduced to video games. Like I was playing like the old Maddens. The one memory I have of the PlayStation 2 is I had this NASCAR game with Tony Stewart on the cover. I remember winning a race with Bobby Labonte, running upstairs and then telling my dad that I won a race. Just super stoked about it. And that's kind of where I started my video game like love, I guess.
Fuck yeah.
Solid.
Approved.
Bold.
All right, boys, the time has come for my tier talk. Here's what I'll let you guys know. I said, fuck yeah. Oh. I said, fuck yeah. All right. My honorable mention is going to go to, I believe what's this Xbox? Xbox One? The one right now?
Xbox, Series X.
The newest
Yeah,
Xbox.
newest.
The reason why it is in my honorable mention and did not make my top 3 is because when I think about video games, there's so much of childhood that comes into play. But I had to mention this one because it introduced me to my favorite person of all time, Arthur Morgan. The greatest man any of us who have played Red Dead Redemption 2 has ever met in our entire life. Truly, I can't say it enough. Bawled my fucking eyes out and have literally cried since then about that game. That's how much that game affected my life. Incredible. But just one game. Not a massive gamer right now. You got 2 kids. It's tough for me to really get in the hours. My tier 3 is going to go to the Game Boy Color. Playing Pokemon back in the day, the red and the blue. And then there was the yellow piece when you got Pikachu to start with, dude. And then you go to school, dude. Aztec Elementary. I would go to Aztec Elementary during a recess. And I would get out there and they had these cords that were, I swear to God, 3 inches long. And you would connect and go to these like little centers. And you could trade. And that's the only way you could get Alakazam. There was Kadabra, there was Abra, Kadabra, and then Alakazam. But the only way to get Alakazam was to trade. And so that was always a big one. And getting Abra back in the day too was tough. Because before you'd fight Misty, you go into that green grass, up the bridge and over to the left and down. And his bitch ass would teleport everywhere. So you kind of got to bank him. Hopefully he doesn't get to teleport. And then throw the Pokeball out and then pray to God. So the level of nostalgia with that too, that was like my favorite Pokemon at the time. It's changed a little bit because my daughter's big into Pokemon now. So we've almost got a 151. My tier 2 is going to go to the Xbox 360. You start to think about Halo and all that, dude, and the time spent. Like my Xbox 360 for me was middle school and it was high school, and so it was like fucking just so much fun, dude. You get that going, dude. Fucking get the heart pumping a little bit, and the swords started coming out, and the development of each time. It was just such a great fucking game. Literally, that I think they had Tony Hawk in that also at the 360 level, and they also had, I think, SSX Tricky was also a piece
Yes,
in that.
they did.
Tony Hawk Underground was
Fucking elite, dude. So having the 360, that was big. One thing I want to bring back to the Game Boy, dude. Fucking go to school with a Game Boy in one pocket and a tech deck in the other. You fucking are living, boys. Okay? You want to talk about fucking being a dog out there in the playground, dude. I go out there, throw a pop, shove it, and then trade for my Alakazam, dude. That's a good day spent on the recess. A good fucking day spent. And my tier 1, I only got phone for this, goes down to the greatest game console that has ever been made of all time, dude. The fucking, no disc, just big ass bricks. The Nintendo 64 was the OG, dude. You had a little issue, blowing that thing a little bit, stab it in there, and the one we have in the back of the bus, you move it way back, maybe tape it, and it goes in there. I played, obviously, all the games growing up. Super Smash Brothers, GoldenEye, Star Fox. You'd play Tony Hawk Pro Skater when that shit and it was like gold too. Like you could see it from across the room. You'd have all your games lined up, and you'd see the gold one. You knew what the fuck that one was, dude. And that was a huge feeling. But the ascension for me of Nintendo 64 really came in college. My dorm room at West Quad at the University of Michigan. One of my hallmates, Jack Greenlee, was the greatest Super Smash Brother player I have ever seen in my entire life. We're talking about 3-piece and 3v1, dude, just smacking us up and down the yard and being a cunt talking about it too. Like he was being an absolute, he let you know how good he was. Recently, the last game that Jack and I played was about 4 years ago, and I dusted his bitch ass. So that makes me the greatest Super Smash Brother player of all time. You guys have seen me on the sticks. You guys have all caught the wrath a little bit. If you look here, see that? That's a dislocated thumb. That thing doesn't have the back and forth it used to. You see that? How hard that is to get that back and forth? Still beating ass on those sticks on the 64. Also a cool controller. You get to see who really plays the game, because sometimes I hold it like this. You bitch ass. You got to hold that motherfucker like that. Get that stick rolling. So that is my tier talk.
Classics.
Dub.
Throwbacks.
righteous. I also, before we get off this topic, I have to give a shout out to the PSP.
Oh,
Yes. It was so
I didn't
ahead
even
of
play
its
it.
time.
Oh,
We need
dude.
it. We
The
need it
PSP
now.
was so ahead of its time. Like it's I saw when I went and got that backpack, there was a Switch laying in the floorboard, and that's like the modern day PSP. But the PSP was so different. I remember
So good.
I had FIFA Street on there. Like I'm pretty sure we've all played NFL Street. That game was
Street was the
fucking
shit.
yeah. Don't even get me started. But I had a FIFA Street. So much fun. The PSP. I remember playing it for every day of my driver's ed course for a week. Just not paying attention. Like I might pass, I might not, but I'm having a good time. Shout out to that PSP.
They need to bring that back, because now you wouldn't have to have all the little tiny
the
discs.
disc. I kind of love the little disc.
Have it popped
though.
out the back
just
and you
love
gotta
the
put it in.
aesthetic of it.